Hello, how are you today? I hope you've been well. Let's paint some zombies. Here I am thinking about how to paint fog. So I take my applicator brush and the color lime green and I just fill in my chest and my neck haphazardly with lime green. I don't really care about the edges at this point, I just want to make sure that the entire front center of it is covered. The next color I pick up is a deep green and it goes in from behind my neck and shoulders and it crosses into the lime green. Again, a haphazard application because we'll fix it later. I also paint down the bottom here as I'm gonna add in a ground to this painting, creating a sort of mound in the middle because that's where my hand is gonna come out of. There is a theme building up here as I sort of vignette my body painting from black into its color, so the shoulders, the back of the neck, bring that black into that deep green. We're gonna mix all of this together and hopefully create some kind of fog. I did mix the black with the deep green. I wanted to get a middle color, but then I do go in with complete black and make it darker on the outside. I think this is my favorite technique. That buffing brush that I've taken in every single one of these body paintings with a little touch of water, I use to buff everything together. So I start off going in circles. I start in the middle with the lime green because once it gets the darker colors on it, you can't go backwards. So from dark green into deep green into black, and I make it as fog-like as I can, keeping it in circles and trying to blend it together as evenly as possible. Maintaining that separation within the colors though, because we do want to see all these cool colors. Blending under my chin as well to pull everything together. Okay, let's paint a hand on my chest in reverse through a mirror. Cool. I am using a reference image here, but it doesn't matter. Like, as it comes out, you'll see it's a bit wonky. I've created a stem in the middle of my chest, and on either side of that line, I am creating the rest of the forearm. You can create this hand as big or as small as you want. I kind of went with what I normally draw on paper, but I could have gotten away with something bigger. I am using a very fine detailed brush here, which I'm pretty sure is my watercolor brush, but I fill everything in and I go in with darkness and light later. So it doesn't really matter how messy or how neat you fill in this hand because it's a zombie hand. It's coming out of the ground. It doesn't care. I'm assessing whether or not it's good enough and let's move on. I wanted to create some tombstones here, so here's one, here's two, here's another. I'm using a fluffy brush, that color deep green, and these are basically just outlines of where I'm going to have them. There's no detail on them at the moment, but you can do as many of these as you want. I wanted to keep it kind of simple because I wanted the effect of it to be cooler than the actual details. I do use a very small detail brush now to paint in some crosses and other kinds of gravestones. It doesn't really matter, this is all up to you, but I wanted a little variety. Okay, with that same fluffy brush, I use black and I bring it in from the dark side of where it would be dark into the center and blend that out. This is the shadow of my tombstones. And I do this on all of them. It is a very soft blend, so don't worry too much about, harsh lines. Blend it out as much as you can. And if you're struggling with that blend, you can go in with that green again and just keep going back and forth until you get a nice balance. Then taking my fine detailed brush again, the color black, and outlining it. This is more of a cartoony look, so it doesn't have to look too serious. Plus, the outlining helps because the background is a bit darker. You can see these tombstones come out, you can see the details on the hand when you've outlined everything anyway. I outline my crosses as well, which turn out a lot better when they're outlined in black. For the hand, I wanted to make it an irregular kind of shading to make it look more misshapen and malformed, so there are shadows where there wouldn't normally be shadows, trying to make it look like some parts of the hand are missing, some are dirtier than others and whatnot. You can tell I'm concentrating here, it doesn't even look like I'm breathing, but I'm trying to get all the fingers, there we go, trying to get all the fingers outlined without making any mess, because when you mess up with black paint on any other colored paint, it's such a pain. And now I'm creating mounds of dirt. I go in with my fluffy brush from before and some more black and I create mounds. Kind of like plants have been overgrowing and maybe there's dirt coming up onto these tombstones. but I do try to add some here and there to make it look like it is more in the foreground, and it just adds to more detail and makes it look kind of cool. Now, taking my angled brush, my lime green, let's highlight, shall we? These highlights are coming from that center point. I'm basically just blotting on the highlight points of each tombstone and blending it out with my finger, which blends out really nicely. It doesn't have to be neat, again, it's just light that's coming in and illuminating stone. But make sure that it's coming in from that center point where that light is directed. I do a little light on the hands as well, just to separate that darkness from the dark green. And on the forearm as well, making it look even more irregular and messy. I add a little highlight to the mounds as well, to make it look like it's damp dirt and it's reflecting off of that light as well. Every little detail gives it a little something extra. The little cross that I've made stands out more, the tombstones stand out more, it's really cool. And now it's beauty time. Apply your foundation however you will. My preferred tool is a beauty sponge, and I use it to blend in my foundation and my concealer, which I apply under my eyes, over my nose, my forehead, a little over my eyebrows, on top of my lip and my chin. And I set everything with my translucent setting powder, and we start doing eyebrows. I'll list everything down below because once again I don't have any of this in front of me. Eyebrows are done. Gemini palette. Do you expect anything else when you come here? It's always the Gemini palette. Today I'm going to try and use all the greens and the black. I start off with the color Mochi. I take this color onto my brow bone and up into my eyebrow. There's going to be no inner highlight. Then we go in with Fire OG, a little bit under it. This is going to be technically in the crease, but because it's a smoky eye, you're not really going to see it. All of these colors are transitions into each other, but we have to add it. We're not going to leave it out. I'm blending it up into that brow bone, and I go back in later with Mochi and blend that brow bone down. So messy application is fine. Then going in with Leo. Leo is primarily on the eyelid, but if it's not opaque enough when you apply it with a fluffy brush, go in like I have with a flat brush and then blend it upward. Because smoky eyes are just blending, you do go back and forth a lot in these looks, so if it doesn't look dark enough to your liking, just keep going back and adding more color. For underneath the eye, we're going to use the exact same colors, starting with Leo, then blending out with Fire OG, and Mochi again, adding everything together, blending it down as far as you like. Then I use Bonnie. With Bonnie, I take an angled brush and I apply it like I'm applying an eyeliner, not a winged liner, but just a lining on top of my eyelid and underneath the bottom lid. And I apply it all over. Because it is a smoky eye, we don't really have a classic eye feel with this, all over the top lid. And I blend it out with my fluffy brush into Leo. I use swipey motions to get that color up there, and then circular motions to blend everything together. And I do go back in with Leo and blend it down again. I do that on both the top and the bottom lids, and move on to lashes. Which, in this clip, I realize I did not buy more lashes. So we're not going to have lashes for this look. Using my Better Than Sex mascara, I'm going to apply 2 coats of this, just to make everything really pop. And I think I missed the clip where I'm applying eyeliner, but I apply eyeliner on the inner parts of my eyes. Now I'm taking Leo and my Duo Fiber brush to create a contour. Very much like my scarecrow look, I wanted to keep it within the theme, so I'm using the same palette of colors in order to bring everything together. I take it up onto my temple, which I don't normally do in my beauty makeup, but I wanted the color in there. I also apply it under my chin to both sculpt my face and also to blend in the body painting with my glam makeup. I do a little contouring on my nose, under my lip, and on top of my lip on my cupid's bow. Most of the time this makes the lip look more pouty. I find that sometimes I look like I have a mustache, it doesn't matter. Then with my Duo Fiber brush, I take a blend of Mochi and Fire OG and I create what the effect of blush usually gives. Just so we don't look too hollow, you know? And then I finally go in with Goalz. With Goalz, I highlight the tops of my cheeks and a little bit on my cupid's bow. For lips, I'm using my MAC lip liner in Stone, and I'm applying my lips like I normally do. The contouring is mainly on the outside and it tapers off towards the middle, and I'm using my Too Faced Melted Liquid Lip, which blends in really nicely with that liner. Just pulling my hair out to make it look a little disheveled, a little more zombie-like, a little more creepy. And that's the final look. I hope you enjoyed my very green, very foggy zombie coming out of the ground makeup. I also hope you enjoyed the glam portion, because I'm having a lot of fun doing this kind of duo medium video style. I didn't really go in with much of a plan with this look, so I'm really happy that it came out and I'm so excited that you get to see it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of the week and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.